For the past week, I've been on an overland trip through Germany, exploring some areas a little bit more off the beaten path. A journey now brings me to Eisenach and Thuringia, two places I'd never considered visiting before, but that was a huge mistake. In this video, you're going to see why. Let's get into it. Next up on this trip is Eisenach, and I've now just arrived at Wartburg Castle. I'm going to go have a look around. We just arrived to the entrance of the castle, and this is the first courtyard here.
This is from the 11th, 13th century, 11th to 13th century, and other parts are from the 19th century, 14th century.
So you can see this room now. The colours in the walls are made up from 4.5 million mosaic glass tiles, and that's what gives this impression. So this is the festival hall, the concert hall at the top of the castle. They have weekly performances here of classical music. There is one tonight, so I might be lucky enough to see it. Yeah, really beautiful, and the acoustics, I'm told, are the same no matter where you sit because of this wooden roof up here. While Wartburg Castle is undoubtedly beautiful, it's perhaps most famous for playing refuge to both Martin Luther and Goethe, two hugely interesting parts of Germany's history that I'd encourage you to learn about if you're traveling through this area. So I just had a tour around with Christian, who works here, and it was actually very interesting. This castle is 1,000 years old, but it actually also has parts of it that are newer as well, so it's kind of been added to over the centuries. It was home to Martin Luther, who translated the Bible, and Saint Elizabeth, who are two big religious icons for Germany and for the world. But more importantly than that, to me anyway, is it's got a beautiful view all the way around. There's an epic little cafe here where you can sit and look at the forest around, and the air just feels really fresh. So with that, I actually got a lift up here, but one of the ways to get up here is from this hiking path that goes back down to town. So I am going to hike back down and show you that. I never miss a good opportunity to hike, and the weather is beautiful, it looks great, the air's fresh. Let's get going. This is basically where I'm hiking down back to town, down there. It says it's about 30 minutes, so that's not really a difficult hike, and it's all downhill for me, which would be nice. It's funny, I was chatting to a German woman a few days ago, and I asked her, do you like hiking? And her response was, I'm German. Of course, I like hiking, which is a good thing, but also it's hard not to when there's so much green and forestry and trails. Like, I love that. I didn't really think that about Germany until being here, but actually there's just green everywhere. Nice, fresh air, and hopefully some nice trails on the way down too. Yeah, this is it. This is nice. If you do end up coming to Eisenach and to Wartburg, then definitely hike if you can. It's only about 30 minutes or so, I'm told, anyway. Yeah, this is very nice. Now taken a bus outside of Eisenach to Hainich National Park, where there is the Baumkronenpfad, and as I understand it, this is a treetop walkway through the forest. Let's go check it out. So I'm heading up the first treetop canopy walkway right now. Yeah, it looks like a few steps up, but I've just been told that once we are up there, then we get very close to the trees, which is cool. Okay, I need to start walking now. So we've just arrived at the top and having a quick walk around, seeing right next to all of the trees around us. You can see how close I am. But one important piece of information is that it's also accessible. So it does actually have an elevator to get up to the canopy walkway if you need to use it. Yeah, that's good. I think that's the first time I've ever been to a treetop walkway that also has accessibility. So there are also wild cats in this national park, and I think I'm going to get the chance to see some in a conservation centre later. We're now taking a gradual incline up as we moved around and gone up to the highest point right now, which is about 24-25 meters. Interestingly, this was built in 2005 and it's the most visited thing about this national park. But they wanted to make a point to get people to also get out into the forest and have a bit of a walk. So you have to do a bit of a trail to get here, and then you get to do the treetop walkway. I think it's nice. Like I said, I always love hiking anyway, but to get people to connect back with nature, the people that haven't really been in it very often, it's a nice initiative.
So, und jetzt weiter, weiter. Jawohl.
There is of course also a bit of a rope bridge for kids and people like me to try out. And you know, yeah, it's cool. I think as you get older, or at least as I've got older, I like heights less and less. But this year obviously you're very enclosed, very easy. Okay, and this is another bit. I'm getting to climb down this ladder. And then now I'm down here, I can go and look directly down to, well, the ground underneath me. There are a lot of people that wouldn't like this. And now the final climb. So we're at the top now and you can see the scale of the national park here. And interestingly, Jens just told me that the most visited time is October, because then that's when all the trees start changing colour, so you'll have all of the yellows and reds and browns come out and probably get a pretty spectacular view from up here. I'm about the middle of September now, so just missing that. You can just see them starting to change colour now, but if you do plan to come here, then maybe aim for October. Right, we just stopped for a quick bockwurst with bread, sausage and bread, and now we're about to start on a hike with a dog, I think. I hear you. Hello? Oops. Hello? Oh, you're sweet, aren't you?
World Heritage Path. So normally it's about 9 kilometers, but we take just a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, a mix from young forest and old trees.
So we're into the forest now, and if you can hear around me just how quiet and still it is. Yeah. I said earlier in the year in springtime you hear all the birds. There's some now, but right now it's so quiet. So this forest is mostly made up of beech trees, and this one in particular would be around 150 to 200 years old. So quite an old tree. I've also just been told that they do have a fair bit of wildlife here. You have martens, you have red deer, wild boars, raccoons now, foxes, and of course the wild cats.
You see it change the direction of growing because they are growing every time to the middle of the earth with the
I see. Oh yeah, okay.
And so you can see this was on the staying trunk, and when it broken down, then
Changes direction.
yeah.
Okay, we've just done a short hike because we're running low on time, but you can hike in here. There's a nice 9-kilometer loop, which takes you about 3.5 hours. We're just doing a shorter one, and we're exiting the forest now. Okay, so we've just come to the conservation centre, and there's a wildcat just here. Yeah. So we're in the Wildcat Centre now, and yeah, it's actually put together really well. There are also lynxes here, and apparently some lynx kittens if we're lucky. Actually, you've got to be pretty lucky to see them because this is actually quite a big area for them. And today, as you can see from me sweating, it's very hot, so they're most likely hiding in the shade. There are also lynxes here, and they're looking at reintroducing them, and they've already reintroduced one successfully, so that's what part of this program is. And there are also some lynx kittens, or kits. So you can see right now, we're waiting for feeding time, and he's introducing what's happening. The cats know it's feeding time, so they're right at the front.
So, komm her, mein Freund. Muss mal grundsätzlich was zuwerfen, damit wir verstecken können, wo Bäume, Sträucher, Büsche, andere Sachen da sind mit. Verrückt, dass wir morgen schon da gewesen. Und dieses Jahr jetzt am 22. Mai, da sind noch mal 3 Stück.
Right, that was a very cool end to the day, finishing with the feeding of the lynx and the lynx kittens and the wildcats as well. So you can do both. You can come to the Hainich National Park, doing the treetops, and then also coming here. It's kind of a good itinerary before we now head back to Eisenach. All in all, this was a fantastic week travelling overland through Germany. I started off in the powerhouse that is Frankfurt, went through the Franconian cities of Würzburg and Bamberg, treated myself to the spa town of Bad Kissingen, and finally the epic nature and fresh air of Eisenach and Hainich National Park. This is a trip that I would recommend to anyone looking to see parts of Germany a little bit more off the beaten path. For now, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, of course, please like and subscribe. Tschüss!